How are you, everyone? Yeah. Okay. So actually, I'm kind of cutting you all in almost lunchtime. So bear me for 20 minutes. I'll make your time useful. Okay. So yeah, let me start my presentation. So yeah. So today I'm going to talk about, or I'll be kind of equipping you with setting up your own private GPTs using AWS Bedrock and AWS Lambda. Okay. So let me start. So this is about me, myself Saravanan, and I am founder and chief technology evangelist of Cloud Engine Labs. So we are providing technology consulting solutions to client on various areas of cloud DevOps adoption, and we are also developing our own products with respect to DevOps adoption and cloud. And we are also recently started developing our own GenAI products as well. And I am being in the community, I am contributing to community for more than 7-8 years, and I am part of AWS Community Builder program and HashiCorp Ambassador program as well. So this is my website. I have all my social links mentioned there. Okay. So if anyone wants to connect with me, you can connect with me, and I will also be here after the session. So I just want to ask you guys a question like, what is the need for setting up a private GPT-like system? Anyone can answer, please, quickly. Why do we need a system like a private GPT? Sorry? Yeah, correct. Anyone else? Yeah. So basically that is about it, right? So basically, industry is moving towards setting up. Moving away from internet-based LLM and GenAI systems, and every enterprise organizations moving towards setting up their own GPT-like system in their own infrastructure, be it AWS or any on-prem system. They are all moving, right? And for internal teams, we cannot access provide our document to the internet-based systems, right? Because they are kind of using our own data and training their own models, right? But with respect to proprietary information, it is always a risk to push this data into the internet. So that is also one other reason every organization is moving towards a private GPT-like system, right? So when I say GPT-like system, it's one of the famous system that is in place. That's the reason I took it as an example. So and third one is so data exposure is very critical, right? So currently everybody is developing GenAI products using vibe coding and everything. But they are all using internet-based systems, and if at all they wanted to make this products live, the problem is that they are there is a chance that they might expose users' personal identifiable information, right? So this is the very much of a hot topic currently in industry right now. So if anyone wanted to explore in that way of setting up private GPT-like system, that is a very good scope of work will be there, and you will get very good amount of job or anything will be there, because this is just starting. That is the reason I am kind of giving you guys an idea of how to do it through AWS systems, right? Let me move on. So why choose AWS Bedrock over open freely available model hosting, right? Because there are model hosting mechanisms like LangChain and everything is available. But why we need to go for a system like AWS Bedrock? Because AWS is a kind of one of the hyperscaler currently available in the market, and they are the industry leaders for a long time. So it is good to go with the system like AWS, so that you can have a VPC setup, private network, on-prem system, everything you can do it through AWS, right? So the first thing is if at all if you wanted to host and take a model from internet and train it. So basically what we have to do is we need to buy a infrastructure for that, right? So it is actually very high cost. But AWS is providing a managed services, and it is having a lots of model already hosted in their model catalog. So we can use those model catalog, and we can pay for the usage pricing only, right? So we can tremendously reduce the cost, and with the benefit of privacy as well, right? And the second one is AWS Bedrock supports many models like Claude and AWS's own proprietary models, and whatever you name it, Gwen, everything is there, right? So basically we have a choice of choosing our own model based on our use cases. And fourth one is unified API access. So AWS Bedrock provide multiple API methodology, the major two classification is Converse API and Invoke API, right? So through Converse API SDK, you can access the systems like Claude and any similar conversational models through Converse API SDK, and Invoke API is basically for the one-to-one interaction, training models, embeddings, and those kind of things. We can use Invoke API. And next one is like production ready scalable platform, because since we are using Lambda as a background for running the Python code and everything, right? It is actually easily scalable, and for Lambda serverless also we will be providing only the usage based pricing only. So, and fifth one is like privacy focused with no exposure to the internal systems. So this is the key pointers we wanted to go for a system like AWS Bedrock rather than open source LLM model, LLM deployments. And for the purpose of today's architecture, this is what I have prepared. Like first one is I will be showing how the AWS setup is being done, and the second one is how the dedicated VPC deployment is done. And we have used a model interface using Bedrock API, the Converse API SDK I told. And the fourth one is we are also using S3 for the provision of storing the memory for the chat conversations. And I have built up a Streamlit UI for a chatbot interface, and that interacts with the backend Lambda system that is runs on the AWS Bedrock. Okay. So this is the high-level architecture you can see. So in this high-level architecture, you can see this is user will be providing chat messages through the Streamlit web UI. So here I have mentioned Streamlit because this is a demo purpose. You can wrap it around with any kind of UI tool, you name it, React or Next or whatever it is. You can wrap it around that, and that UI will be interacting with Amazon API Gateway. Okay, and that is in the public subnet, because that is the first level of security we are providing. And this blue box is the VPC wherein we are deploying our AWS Bedrock, and that is completely private system, right? So you can see we can configure our environment, and based on that configuration, you can see this is completely isolated from the internet. So it has to go through so many levels of interaction to reach this level of LLM model, right? So this is the key focus of today's session I wanted to highlight. This is the reason we wanted to go to system like AWS Bedrock or a hyperscaler like AWS to implement your own private GPT system, right? So because enterprises are moving towards, you name it, fintech companies or all the larger enterprises like this. So if at all, as a student, if you wanted to explore that career path, you can just learn about it, and I will also be there. You can reach out to me, and then and for care. And as I mentioned, like now we will have to monitor the request coming having, even though it may seem negligible for a volume of requests coming in or going out, right? You will be charged high, right? So for that only we will have to set up dashboard and everything for from the interface I showed already. Okay. So yeah. So let me jump on to the demo quickly. Okay. So yeah. So this is the architecture diagram I have showed you already, right? So we will be having an Streamlit UI interface through which that chatbot will be interacting, and it will be sending the request to the API gateway, because for all the Lambda requests it will be wrapping around with the API gateway, and then the interaction will be going to the backend Lambda code through which that endpoint's been exposed, right? So that is what it is. And for this demo, what I have done was I have prepared a complete full automation, AWS automation using Terraform, right? So I have spinned up already because of the time constraint. It will run for another 20 minutes, right, for the infrastructure creation itself. So what I have done was I have already prepared everything, and I have quickly show you what I have done, right? So this is the AWS Bedrock Terraform code I have prepared. So whatever the infrastructure elements you are seeing in this architecture diagram, you will be seeing that component is being created through Terraform, right? So you can see here, this is the Lambda code we are talking about. So this is called Lambda handler, and in this Lambda handler only there are various functions available for doing the chat interaction with the chatbot. I am using Claude here, right? And so you can see first it will do the change the chunks of messages into text blocks, and then it will pass it on to the backend Lambda code. So I don't want to go through the entire code because it might be very high level. I feel so. Next one is I have structured entire my infrastructure in Terraform using modules, because that is one of the best practice way to implement Terraform IAC, right? And then this is the main.tf file wherein I am calling all the infrastructure components that I have defined as a module there. Okay, and as a so moving forward, how to execute this demo, right? The first step is spin up the environment using Terraform code. Okay, so I have already spinned up the environment and it's already been up and running, right? And next thing is once after the environment is being spinned up, there are authentication mechanism we need to integrate with the UI. For that I have used Cognito API, okay, Cognito methodology, wherein that is also another service from AWS. So using Cognito, we will have to use a Cognito pool ID for configuring a username and password. So that also I have set it up. So first one is setting up an infrastructure creation. Next one is creating a user in Cognito, and third one is running the Streamlit application, right? So I have already run it. Okay, I will just check. Yeah, I'll just check the internet connection so that. Yeah, internet connection is there. So yeah. So this is the login screen. So as I mentioned, this is the private GPT I am talking about. Okay. So if you are setting up for an like an enterprise, this is how it should be done. Okay. My username is test@example.com, and password is okay. I'm logging in now. So for this login only, I was talking about creating a Cognito username and password, so that the entire API request will be authenticated through that methodology. Okay. So this is as I mentioned, this is a simple chatbot I have created, and I have enabled only one model for myself. Okay. I will also show that at the end of the demo. So basically this is like a system you can consider. You can add n number of models here. I have added only one model here, and you can choose based on your own request. And if at all, if someone is developing an app for like an LLM model wrapper, this is also one of the use case, right? This is how you have to do. So you can enable the models, and user should be able to choose the models from the selection box, and then they can run it, right? So I'll just type a message here. So I'll be sending the request. So this Streamlit code is already in configured with all the required values for the Bedrock connection. It may take some time because I haven't tuned anything on the quick response, right? And I don't know about the internet connection as well. So yeah, so now that request is going, and Claude in the background running that, okay, and it is bringing up the response, and it is showing the UI, okay. So I have asked for it, what is the AWS student community day, and it has provided a response. And yeah, and if at all you want to have it as a conversations history, something similar like a GPT-like system, right? So that is what I have prepared, okay. And yeah, and I am almost completed my demo, and anyway I will be here around today, okay. So anyone wanted to catch up on this, I am happy to discuss, right? So yeah, thank you. If at all, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, I can wrap up the session. Any questions? Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for being an awesome audience. So this is actually we are doing for one of the client. Actually, this use case is being inspired from the client's use case, right? So it's a real scenario, I would say. Yeah.
One question, sorry.
Yes.
Before you even ask.
No problem. No problem. Yeah.
The question is since you're making it as a private one, right?
Yeah.
So what about the knowledge base? Since you are interacting with this now, since you have fed this knowledge, so
correct.
There has to be a point of time where you have to do a batch processing of inputting the data at certain or synchronizing
Yes, correct.
in the real world?
Yes, correct. So in the real world, what you have to do is there are document models and those kind of things are available, right? So in Bedrock, what happens is, so when you create them inside the VPC, it becomes as a private for your own organization only. So you can, this is just a conversational model I have, demo I had, but we can also do it for document model, whatever you name it, image models and whatever models are available in Bedrock you can do.